What month is it? What day of the week is it? Where are we? A football player must answer these questions in order to pass the concussion protocol set by the National Football League. This protocol is part of a larger movement against concussions, as a possible link has been found between concussions and the disease known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. With the rise in its awareness, CTE has established itself as a dangerous disease that researchers are still trying to learn more about. Today, I will not only go into details on CTE's causes and symptoms, but I'll also explain its impact in society and how researchers are trying to find new ways to detect it. To detect and possibly cure CTE, we must first understand exactly what the disease is, as well as its causes and effects. The Mayo Clinic reports chronic traumatic encephalopathy as brain degeneration caused by repeated head trauma and has no cure as of right now. After numerous hits to the head, the human brain can undergo permanent damage to its structure and function. Due to this atrophy of the brain, nerve cells that conduct electrical impulses are injured, which can affect the cellular communication in the brain. This results in a number of issues and symptoms, including difficulty thinking, impulsive behavior, depression, short-term memory loss, suicidal thoughts, and other complications that can be found on the Mayo Clinic website. The Mayo Clinic also reports a possible connection between CTE and other neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. CTE brings many serious symptoms that make it impossible to ignore its severe impact on its victims. Although the research and effort against CTE may be new, the fact that the disease is very dangerous and lethal is not. According to ESPN, ex-NFL linebacker of 19 seasons, Junior Seau, committed suicide by shooting himself in his home in California. Per his wife and son, Junior had been undergoing drastic behavior changes after his retirement, such as depression, mood swings, and detachment. But there was no explanation for these changes. After his suicide, Junior's brain was donated to the National Institutes of Health for research, where he was then diagnosed with CTE, giving an explanation for his behavior changes. But tragically, it was too late. But CTE is not limited to football, as an article by Pink Concussions connects domestic violence with CTE. And this article focuses on an autopsy paper titled Dementia in a Punch-Drunk Woman, in which Dr. Roberts, the deceased woman's physician, reports a similarity between the constant head trauma in the sport of boxing and the repeated acts of domestic violence and physical abuse. Written in 1990, the woman in the paper, who was named Wilma, was diagnosed with punch-drunk syndrome or dementia pugilistica. However, with improved research today, Dr. Roberts' initial diagnosis has been reviewed, and it has been determined that this punch-drunk syndrome is in fact CTE. This revision shows how CTE has been a problem in society for decades now, but we are just now recognizing it. With society beginning to fully realize the problem of CTE, researchers are working towards identification and prevention of the disease. Research institutions all over the nation are trying to find new ways to detect the disease in its early stages to combat it before it's too late. According to an article by USA Today, Gary Small, a professor of psychiatry and biobehavioral studies, is conducting research on CTE in 5 former NFL players. In his research, Small has found that in the brains of CTE patients, cells build up into clusters of tau proteins called neurofibrillary tangles, which serve as signature signs of the disease. By using a slightly radioactive compound to attach to these proteins, screening methods can be used to show similar protein deposits in the brains of other possible CTE victims. In addition, according to Daily News New York, scientists Samuel Gandy and Dara Dixon of Mount Sinai's Icahn School of Medicine have discovered another screening method in which special molecules called ligands are attached to receptors in the brain, which become visible through brain imaging. These brain images of CTE patients can then serve as comparison and can be used to aid in the identification and diagnosis of the disease. Robert Stern, whose research on CTE is funded by the Department of Defense, and the National Institutes of Health is also using this ligand and states, we want to be able to detect it really, really early so we can intervene, slow it down, or stop it in its tracks. Although research is in its early stages, progress is being made towards detecting the disease before it's too late. Knowledge is the first step towards a solution, and research to understand the importance of knowing more about the disease with its emergence as a dangerous threat to humans. Today, I have explained how CTE is caused by multiple head traumas and has symptoms such as memory loss, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. I have also touched on the presence of CTE in society not only today, but in the past through Junior Seau and Women's Stories. And I have also provided an update on progress made in the research on detection of CTE. The threat of CTE is just another reason to protect the brain, because as the years go by, everyone should be able to answer the basic questions such as, what month is it, where are we, and the most important one of all, who am I?